It is the end of my photographer era. I officially packed up my last backdrop today and I immediately replaced it with a desk mat of a cat eating ramen. Hello, my beautiful entrepreneurs. Welcome to A Hot Mess Builds an Empire. This channel is dedicated to day one entrepreneurs who are standing on the edge of something big and scary, wondering if they are absolutely unhinged for considering the jump into their own business. So I announced in my last video that I am in the middle of a tech startup founding thing. And I noticed lately it's been really difficult to work in my space because it's just not inviting. Just a quick sort of personal life update. Last week we had a tornado just completely ransack my neighborhood. Like, a tree hit our house. We also have another tree over here. Like, there was a tree that hit right here in the studio window. And it took out some of the roof. And then we have another tree over here that's just completely split in half. We have neighbors, every neighbor, because we live in the woods, every neighbor in my development had a tree in their driveway, their backyard, something blocking the road. Our next door neighbor, their tree fell down and is completely blocking their garage. And we have yet to be able to get in contact with a roofer. We have yet to be able to get in contact with tree service because we were out of power for days. Our power just came back on a couple days ago. And the whole area was out of power. There were trees down absolutely everywhere. And it was just a mess, right? And, I ended up spending a lot of time at my aunt's house who lives close by because she fortunately did not get hit by the tornado, but she still had power and we were showering there and everything like that. And, my husband was doing a conference call, like a Zoom call. And I was like, well, let me go upstairs. I was filming something for TikTok anyway. And I went into my cousin's room because I know that she has a desk and I knew that she wouldn't mind if I was in her room because she, her and my family were actually all on vacation last week. So it kind of worked out that we were taking over their house while they just so happened to be away. Anyway, I sat down at her desk and was immediately is uplifted, right? Her desk is pink, I believe. And then it was just, there's room for her laptop and everything like that. But it was just completely decorated with figurines from some of her favorite brands. There were posters and souvenirs from when her and I have gone to musicals in New York City. There were like Betty Boop things, which, Betty Boop is kind of a thing on my mom's side of the family because it's just kind of like a fun memory of my grandmother. And, it's just like she just had all these things like nicely organized, like a cute little Hello Kitty light and, just like all these things that I sat down and I was like, this is fun. Like, I don't sit down at my desk and go like, oh, this is fun. I'm uplifted. I can't wait to work. Like, I don't do that. I just come in and I sit down and I get to work and it's very gloomy and dark in here. And I was like, this is just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So I evaluated my workspace and not just the desk, but like I have the whole room for me, and I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed to have this space. And it was like a photographer's graveyard in here. There were backdrops everywhere that I wasn't using. And for those of you who watch my videos, I don't know if you can actually tell, but there were backdrops off camera over here. And the space is actually more well lit now that they're gone. Like it's actually like brighter in here that they're gone. Like literally and metaphorically, it has brightened up the space. So I took down the last of my photography stuff today with the exception of the lights. Now this guy has got to go. He's broken. Which I'd like to dispose of that the correct way. And then I keep this light up and my ring light up for both YouTubing and TikTok and stuff like that. And other than this is a plant of eyeballs. And this is right back here, a fake New York Times, at least I think it's fake, but a fake New York Times front. That isn't the New York Times. Yeah, it's the New York Times. I had to think, I was like, oh my God, do I remember this picture correctly? Of like sort of like a retro woman in a bikini. And it says, woman searches for where men get the audacity. So it felt very fitting for me. But other than that, like other than sort of having like, my little reading area, because I have like a bookshelf back there. Other than have my reading area, this was all the space over here was all dedicated to like backdrops and clothing changes. I have a gimbal sitting here on the desk. I have a second desk. It's like a smaller one, but it was like where all my photography stuff went. What am I doing with that? Nothing. I'm not doing anything with it. And I want to talk about this because me declaring that I am officially done with photography is kind of a big deal because I have been so invested and involved in it financially, emotionally, physically, for the last 10 years that to announce that I'm officially done being a photographer is big. It's a big deal. Yeah. And I'm announcing it here on YouTube. You're the first to know. Congratulations. But and hindsight is always 2020, right? Like, why is hindsight always 2020? But it is. And I just put so much pressure on myself to always have my camera on me. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to always take what are called bangers. And I always put a lot of pressure on myself to compare myself to other people. And vanity metrics were my obsession on social media accounts. And I just always had my notifications on and it was just like really unhealthy. And when I lost everything getting robbed in Costa Rica, and then when I lost all my contracts in 2020 because of the pandemic, I did a lot of like reevaluation of like, okay, well, I can't be a photographer like fully at this time. And I started to take on other things like World Her Story finally came to be. It had been an idea for years and I had started posting to the Instagram account for it like back in like 2018 or 2019 or something. And I was like, okay, let me start researching and writing. I had the time. And it was just sort of like a disruption with the pandemic and getting robbed. And then as I started to do other things, photography just kind of kept falling to the back burner. And I was like, okay with it. And it's because it stressed me out. Something that used to be a passion, something that I was so excited for, like since I was so young, since like before high school, I was like, no, I'm going to be a photographer. I'm going to travel the world. The fact that it became not fun and stressful and induced me into crazy manic depressions. And I already suffer from bipolar manic depression. So like, why would I continue to chase something that is like really triggering things that I'm already afflicted with, right? And again, hindsight is 2020, friends. But yeah, it just was not fun. And I sold my camera last year before I went to Vietnam. And that was like relieving. And I was so happy to be parted with it. And I hope I took very good care of that camera. I called her Eleanor. I took very good care of Eleanor. She was in amazing condition when I handed her in, along with all of the lenses that I had got for her. And I just wish whoever takes her has the best, most inspiring time. But it just wasn't for me anymore. And when I handed in all my camera gear, I was like, damn, this is real. And I felt like just tension release, right? And I had got like a cheaper Sony camera when I was in Vietnam. And I've been using that as like a point and shoot for whenever I feel like I want to take down some memories. And, other than my phone, because my phone's pretty good. And, yeah, I haven't missed it. And when I reevaluated my space the other day after the power came back on, and I was thinking about, like the main stage of my personal life right now is taken up by the tornado. It just is. Trying to get things settled. I went back on a leave from work. So we didn't have power, for 6 days, I think. Something like that. I don't know. It went out the 4th and we got it back on like the 10th. So yeah, like 6 days. Anyway. So like, I took a leave from work so I could help with, there was just crap everywhere in our yard. And, there were like roof tiles everywhere, and I don't want to bore you with the details, but it was a mess. Right. And we didn't have power. Our plumbing started to back up because the grinder pump went down. I think because of the lack of power, like I don't think it goes for much more than a couple of days or something like that. And then, we couldn't run the hot water. We started to not be able to cook hot meals. So we had to take refuge to my aunt's house. And when the power came back on and I was able to come back up here and start coding again and filming and everything like that, I was like, I don't think my work area is fun. I think it's practical. Like I have my microphone constantly set up. Now, granted, it is a purple microphone, so, but I have like my purple microphone set up. I now have a second monitor because it makes it easier for coding and going back and forth between things. And I have like my, like extra paper and pens here. And I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but I have 3 cats, and I keep their delectables things in my, for them, for treats. And, everything is like practical and notebooks. And this is actually about to be, hung on my wall to help with user flow. And it's, horizontal cork board, so I can space it out how I want to. Everything is just a practical use, right? Like an L-shaped desk, because I write with my right hand, so this way I have the writing area over here. And where's the fun? So I'm gonna start throwing up pictures somewhere in here. I am decorating and decoring and redoing my room in the theme of cats eating ramen. Now, hilariously, I got this months ago. I like getting planners that go from like July into the next year. And so I guess it would be technically like an academic planner. Anyway, it's just so not important. But the planner I got is cats owning a ramen shop. And I got that months ago. So I think it started to like seed itself in there. And now I have a desk mat of a cat eating ramen with chopsticks. It's very cute. But the room is going to be decored with pictures of cats eating ramen. And I found an LED light of a cat eating ramen. And I found curtains. I'm going to get rid of these blinds that don't work. Like they are stuck there, by the way. And I never really cared that much because the sun doesn't hit this side of the house. It hits that side of the house. And I have a nice view of the backyard, and it's blocked by trees. So like nobody can look in, right? But the blinds are stuck there and the blinds are friggin' ugly. They're just regular old white blinds. Ooh. So I found curtains of a cat eating ramen noodles, and there's like this like orange tone to it, so it matches the damn couch. And like there's like even vintage prints from like a really long time ago in Japan of cats eating ramen noodles. So like there's like a whole thing of cats eating ramen. I had no idea. And it just so happens that I was like, what if I got a couple pictures of cats eating ramen? Like, I think that would be really uplifting for me. And like the desk mat happened, and I realized my planner was cats in a ramen shop, and I found the curtains, and then I found storage bins, you guys, and I found decorative pillows for the couch that matched the couch, like the orange tone. And I was just like, what is happening? This is so hilarious. So I'm gonna rearrange the room. I took the last of the photography stuff down today. And I'm gonna start rearranging like the furniture and everything and kind of plan out what pictures are gonna go where before I order anything. And that's gonna be my birthday present to myself. Well, that's going to be my birthday present from my husband, technically, because I did beg him for months to get me this massive Oogie Boogie stuffed animal thing from Build-A-Bear. And I was like, can you get me this? And I asked back in like January, and he was like, for your birthday. I was like, oh, I gotta wait so long. Anyway, I have been waiting to get this Oogie Boogie thing for the last 7 months, 6 months, 7 months, something like that. And I retracted that request, and I was like, can I please decorate my studio with cats eating ramen pictures? And I got a yes. I mean, not that he cares in the sense of like what I want for my birthday, right? But I was just like, did you order that yet? Please don't order it, because now I changed my mind. So that's what's going on. But listen, you're probably like, Tabitha, this is like, where's my tangible takeaway? And that's absolutely fair. I have 2 things for you today. The first is you should like the environment that you're working in. I already like this desk mat being down. I already like it. It breaks up the monotony of the fact that I have just blank, I think they're grayish walls, and a black desk. Riveting. And it's now it's a very colorful mat of a cat eating ramen. And it already like breaks up with color. And I don't know if it's how I put my desk together or if it's because it's like a cheaper L-shaped desk, but it's like 2 planks and then like a triangle piece to make the L, right? And the triangle piece doesn't sit right. So every time I use my mouse, it's always like, it like always goes over this crack where the triangle piece meets the plank right here. And this desk mat has smoothed that out. And I've been having a jam using my mouse today because I'm not constantly, off-roading it with this triangle piece. So that, like, even in of itself, I was like, oh my God, why did I not get a desk mat sooner? But I'm so glad I waited when I did, because who knows what kind of desk mat I would have gotten, right? I may not have invested in a cat eating ramen desk mat, and I would have been stuck, or I would have made my husband take whatever it is that I got and then upgraded to a cat eating ramen. But it's going to be great. I am debating about painting in here. Oh, I hit the microphone. It's an episode. Yeah. I'm debating about painting in here because I hate painting. I hate it. It's such a pain in the ass. And it's smelly, and you have to let it air out, and you have to let it dry. And I don't know if I have it in me to paint right now. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about it. Because the walls are going to be like really decorated. You guys, like, I found so many pictures of cats eating ramen, different sizes, canvas, framed, posters. I found I don't know what they're called, but it's like cloth with the two wooden, like there's like the wooden piece on bottom, it's cloth, and then the wooden piece on top and like a string holding it, like something you can hang on like a door or something. You know what I mean? I don't know what those particular forms of art are called. Um, but yeah, I got one of those that I'm going to hang on the front door of the studio. I am just, I'm so excited for this. And and the fact that I'm so excited for something that it's like a side quest from the main stage that is the tornado in my life right now, literally the tornado in my life. Um, Work on your workspace. And it doesn't have to be anything grand. Listen, I'm very lucky and I found a lot of cheap things too. Like they're very inexpensive to get these posters on my walls. But I found things that are like little frog figurines reading. I almost was going to get those to decorate around like on the bookshelf and the desk and my desk, like the desk over there at my desk. And I was like, no, that's not enough. Like to have these little figurines. But you know what I mean? Like you don't need something grandiose. My dogs are barking like crazy and I don't know why. So I apologize if you can hear them. But, um, but I was just thinking like, you could get a little fake plant that you could take with you because I know that especially when you're starting out, your dedicated workspace is the dining room table. Your dedicated workspace is the breakfast bar at your countertop. It is your bedroom when nobody's using it. It is the front porch, right? Like it's anywhere that you can find space to sit down and get your work done, especially when you're starting out as an entrepreneur and you don't have a dedicated office space or studio space. And I just think being able to like take like a little fake plant with you or a little figurine with you to your workspace of the day to just go, this is my work environment today. And my little froggy reading in his comfy lounge chair is going to come with me. I just think there's something really inspiring about the aesthetics of a workspace. And, I started working on the aesthetics a while ago when I just stopped. Like I cleaned my desk and I was like, no, I'm good. But no, it's just like, it's practical. It's not fun. It's not uplifting. It's not inspiring. It's not inviting me to sit down and have a good time. And then the second takeaway that I have for you is, so with the photography thing and me officially walking away from that after 10 years, it is okay to walk away from something. It truly is okay to walk away from something if it does not bring you joy. Certainly if it's not bringing you money. But if there's like this constant negative pressure from yourself or from others or whatever it is, pack up shop, man. And it is okay to walk away. It is okay to walk away and start fresh. Just because you leave one avenue of something behind does not make you no longer an entrepreneur, right? It doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't make you any of that stuff. It just makes you an evolving human being. It also makes you someone who's taking into consideration your mental health and well-being. That if not only was this not working out for you in a business sense, but in a literal, like enjoying your life sense, if it wasn't working out, just call it. Just call it, right? And that's okay to walk away from something. And it took me like the last year to be okay to walk away from photography. And it has taken me the last year to finally go clean up the rest of the stuff, which was today, and to make the official announcement that I'm done with photography. And I'm okay. I'm good. It took me a while to get here, and it was like a really rough road initially when I was like, oh my God, I think I'm calling it on photography. And I just couldn't bring myself to get to that point. But I have, and I am so much better for it. Like those those weights bringing me down are gone. And now I can focus on the other things that it is that I want to focus on, such as, you know, getting back into my YouTube channel here, but mostly, you know, focusing on Nomad Kitco, which has become like this really cool thing and something I'm so excited about. And I'm learning so much and I'm meeting so many cool new people. And I'm really excited for this new adventure. So to not worry about trying to make money from photography anymore has literally like lifted me up. And my room is literally brighter because I got rid of backgrounds that were sitting in here. Like it's literally like lighter in here. So I'm very relieved. I'm very happy. And I just hope that, you know, maybe you don't see that right now, but it's definitely okay to walk away from something when you're like, I can't stand this. I literally can't stand this. And that is something that I'm done. I'm done. So there you have it. So just to kind of wrap up this episode, thank you so much for watching. And Beacon, my all-in-one travel app, is currently on Kickstarter until July 30th, 31st, 30th, till July 30th. So if you want to check it out, I have the link in the bio where you can go and check out what Beacon is all about. And if you'd love to back and support it, that would be amazing. No pressure. But if you want to check it out, I am leaving the link in the description in here for the video. But yeah, thank you again for watching. And I hope this video was helpful. I hope this update was not as depressing as I thought it would be when I was like, oh God, I'm going to say something about the tornado. And it did not turn into a depressing episode. Yes. But yeah, have an amazing day. Have an amazing night, a week. I don't know when I'm going to be posting again next. I'm trying to get back into a rhythm here. But I will see you guys next time.